Hello my friend and our lecture. I hope you in good condition today where you are now. Okay, in this video we will discuss about foreignization in translation. This is explained by my group. This is me, Lenian Tesaragi, and my friend Agustia Sembirik and Susi Eraferi Lumbanggaud. I hope you enjoy the video. Let we start it.
Ideology in translation. Translation is not just about transmitting a text or speech from one language to another. It is rather a set of procedure and strategy to be followed in order to produce a new and coherent and appropriate text that fulfills the goals of translation and transmits, as much as possible, the meaning of the source text. What is foreignization? The term foreignization comes from the adjective foreign, which the meaning is something that is strange and different. In the field of translation, foreignization means the first is according to Paloposky. Foreignization often refers to the preserving of the original cultural context in terms of setting, names, and etc., order to create a sense of strangeness and cultural distance from the target audience. That is, to keep some linguistic and cultural aspect of the source text when translating. When translation, foreignization, according to Venuti, is an Ethovian pressure of those cultural values to register the linguistic and cultural difference of the foreign text, sending the reader aboard. From the definition above, we can say that is a translation strategy in which the translation preserves the cultural and linguistic aspect and values of the source text and transform them into the target text, retaining in the meantime the source text continuance flavor.
Okay, I will explain about foreignization. This ideology takes its stand on the opinion that the true, acceptable, and good translation is the translation which is language give advantage to the society according to Holt 2006 until 87. So, despite the changed text, the translator makes every effort to make the nuance of the culture of the source language present. One of the aim of the effort to give additional knowledge of foreign culture and phenomena to the readers. Of course, the values exciting in the source language are maintained. This ideology is a complete opposite of the domestication ideology. Foreignization in translation is useful to maintain the culture reference on the source text. Consequently, the reader will know something he does not know before. In other words, the readers becomes aware of the cross-culture suitable with the taste and hope on the target readers who want the presence of the culture of the source language and think that the culture of the source understanding. It should be noted that translation deal with accessibility and readability, although the translator has made a decision to focus on foreignization in translation. The reader will not feel comfortable reading a word and too long sentence. So the translation has to carry a heavy burden, and one's heart he is forced to maintain the culture of the source text, and their other hand is not allowed to preserve linguistic discourse. Of course, this is not an easy task to do.
The characteristic of foreignization. Auti Palopowski said that foreignization may consist of many practices starting from the choice of the text, the use of language, or archaic or modern, and any others dividing practice into keeping and preservation of cultural aspects and forms. Su Xiangshu mentioned that Foreignizing translation can retain the foreignness and culture outmass of the a foreign text only by destroying the target culture and it's a norm. He adds that foreignization is outer-centered and SL culture-oriented, and then the originess of foreignization. Venusti states that the translator can do either of two things: to make him or herself invisible to his or her readers by making the text read fluently, that is, to leave no traces on influence of the SL in the target text or domestication. To make him or herself visible by showing that the text is a translation through leaving the traces in the SL and culture showing up in the text or foreignization.
Okay, now I will explain about advantage and disadvantage of foreignization translation. The first is I will explain about advantage of uh, advantage of Foreignization translation. The first is the reader of the target text can preserve that culture of the source language. And the second, the translated text can present the culture nuance of the source language. And the last is intercultural learning is possible to take place. This is the sum advantage of foreignization translation. Now explain about disadvantage of foreignization translation. The first is the readers of the target text possible feels uncomfortable finding on stakes forms. And the second, the language of the target text sometimes sounds unnatural. And the last is negative cultural aspect of the source language can be easily translated in and can influence the readers. Thank you.
Conclusion. The translator is always faced with the cultural problems. It is impossible for the translator to avoid them because a language and culture have a close relation to each other. Consequently, beside the language competence, the translator should have bicultural or multicultural competence. Ideally, the translator should have a native-like competence, though it is very difficult to attain. In translation, cross-cultural understanding is needed to understand the text being translated and to transfer the culture if needed. In dealing with the problem having relation with culture, the translator has to choose either domestication or foreignization. The choice has, of course, its own consequence. The translator should choose the small risk.
Okay, my friend, until here our presentation about foreignization in translation. If we are have mistake when we explain our material, we say sorry. And the last, I say thanks for your time and watch this video. Thank you.